Jerusalem, 33 AD. A city on the verge of a nervous breakdown. The air is thick with the smell of dust, blood, and incense. In front of a Roman governor, two men are presented to a restless crowd. One is a peaceful preacher from Nazareth, a man who spoke of turning the other cheek. The other is a notorious prisoner named Barabbas. For 2,000 years, the story we've been told is simple. The crowd, in a moment of madness, chose a villain over a savior. But what if that's only half the story? What if the truth is far more complex and far more dangerous? Today, we're peeling back the layers of tradition to ask the one question many institutions woe untouched. Why did the people of Israel really choose Barabbas? The answer isn't about good versus evil. It's about politics, power, and a name that was nearly erased from history. To truly understand this moment, we have to understand the immense pressure cooker that was first century Judea. Rome wasn't just occupying the land, they were suffocating it. The taxes were crushing, and religious freedom was a cruel joke. Every single day, the Jewish people were reminded that they were second-class citizens in their own promised land. They weren't just praying for spiritual salvation, they were desperate for a real-world liberator. They wanted a king with a sword, a new King David who could shatter the Roman legions and restore their sovereignty in this explosive climate. Any figure claiming to be the Messiah wasn't just a religious leader, he was a political target. The people weren't looking for a kingdom in the clouds. They wanted their kingdom back on earth. So, who exactly was this man called Barabbas? Most of us heard in Sunday school that he was a thief or a robber. But this is a massive oversimplification, a mistranslation that hides the truth. The original Greek word used in the Gospels is Lēstēs. Now, Lēstēs didn't just mean a petty criminal. It was a specific political term the Romans used for an insurgent, a rebel, or a revolutionary. Think of it as the ancient equivalent of calling someone a terrorist versus a freedom fighter, depending on your side. The first-century historian Flavius Josephus uses this exact word to describe members of the Zealot movement. These were radical Jewish freedom fighters who used guerrilla warfare tactics, ambush, assassinations, and uprisings to strike at the heart of Roman power. Barabbas wasn't in that prison for stealing bread. The scriptures tell us he was jailed for insurrection and murder, committed during an uprising in the city. To the Roman authorities, he was a dangerous terrorist. But to the oppressed, starving crowds gathered in Jerusalem that day, he wasn't a villain. He was a hero of the resistance, a man who'd already proven he was willing to fight and die for their freedom. It was action, not just words. And now we arrive at the most explosive piece of evidence, a detail so controversial that it was systematically scrubbed from many modern versions of the Bible. But the ancient manuscripts don't lie. Early texts, like the Codex Corinthian manuscripts found at St. Catherine's Monastery, reveal something absolutely shocking. Barabbas' full name wasn't just Barabbas, it was Jesus Barabbas. Let that sink in. In the Aramaic language spoken at the time, Barabbas literally means son of the Father. Bar means son of, and Abba means father. Suddenly, the choice, presented by Pontius Pilate, looks completely different. He wasn't offering the crowd a choice between a good man and a bad man. He was offering them a choice between two men named Jesus. Two men with a claim to the title Son of the Father. Jesus of Nazareth, the Son of the Father who preached a message of peace, forgiveness, and love your enemies. And Jesus Barabbas, the Son of the Father who was actively fighting those enemies, spilling Roman blood in the streets of their city. Can you feel the tension now? Imagine you are in that crowd. For generations, your people have been praying for a Messiah, a liberator. You've heard about Jesus of Nazareth. You've seen his miracles, you've heard his beautiful teachings, but when the people tried to make him a king, he slipped away. He refused to raise an army. He talked about a spiritual kingdom, but your children are hungry now. Your friends are being crucified now. Then you look at the other man, Jesus Barabbas. His hands are not clean. He is a man of violence, but his violence has been directed at your oppressors. He is the living embodiment of armed resistance. He has already taken the fight to Rome. By choosing Barabbas, the people weren't rejecting God. They were making a desperate, pragmatic, political choice. They chose it. Te, Son of the Father who promised freedom in their lifetime, over the one who promised a kingdom in the next. They chose the warrior over the preacher. The history of the Bible is often written by the victors, but archaeology and ancient texts tell a more human story. A story of a desperate people pushed to the absolute edge, forced to make an impossible choice between a martyr and a revolutionary. So, here is our verdict for today, and I want you to be honest with yourself. If you were standing in that square, watching your family suffer under a brutal military occupation, with no hope in sight, which Jesus would you have screamed for? The one who tells you to turn the other cheek and wait for a heavenly reward? Or the one who fights back right here, right now? Let us know what you would do in the comments below. History isn't as black and white as they told you in school. Thanks for watching. If you want to uncover more history that the world tried to hide, make sure you subscribe to The Ancient Verdict and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next investigation.